Year as a football program in Gwinnett County, and for Coach Jarvis and some of those other guys that have started new programs in Gwinnett, it's a tough chore because you've got to do so many things to get competitive with the rest of the county, from a touchdown club standpoint to facilities to players to developing players, and we feel like we're on the right track. We finished up last year at 6-4. These guys know, and I know that that's not good enough, and we were fortunate enough the year before to jump into playoffs. So our goal as a program is state playoffs, region championship, and a state championship, and those are the things we work for in the weight room in the off season, in the spring, and obviously in the summer leading up to the season. The young men I have with me here are seniors. They're part of a group of 14 young men that will be 14 seniors that will carry into this football season. These guys have been with us their entire careers here at Archer and have done a tremendous job for us. So I'm excited about having them as leaders. These guys, and they'll learn as the season goes how much the head coach relies on their seniors. You know, they're protected from that during their sophomore and junior years, but I'll be calling these guys in often and leaning on them for leadership and many other different things. Offensively going in, we're returning 8 starters. We played a lot of sophomores on the line of scrimmage last year. So we'll have Mitch Hornsby, Nick Williams, MJ Kuzan. Okay, those guys will be anchoring the line of scrimmage for us. At tight end will be Connor Redmond. Connor's he's a rising junior and started as a sophomore last year. So we'll be counting on those guys up front. At the quarterback position, Gabe Tiller returns as our starting quarterback. You'll also see KJ at quarterback as well in some of our packages, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But wide receiver, Chad Bird's returning. We've moved Chad to the defensive side of the ball right now, and he's had a great summer, had a great spring, and a great summer for us. He's a very, very good athlete, and at this point, he's going to be on the defensive side of the ball, but we can pull him back at wide receiver if needed. Our backfield has graduated. Ernest Alexander will be heading to the Naval Academy. Sean Fowler will be heading to Shorter University, and so we're replacing our running backs. We hadn't had to do that in a while, so that's going to be an interesting story that's got to play out. Right now, we're going to be counting on Dylan Singleton, rising sophomore, as well as Randy Nails, who's a rising junior. You may see Duane in the backfield some. He doesn't know that yet, but you'll see him back there. You may see John. You'll definitely see KJ back there. So we're going to be platooning some guys in the backfield to help us out, some guys that are multiple that can flex out and catch the football as well as dot the I and get downhill with the football. So we're excited about that. We've got some good athletes to put back there and some good football players. Defensively, we're going to be replacing a lot of starters. We're replacing all but one of our defensive linemen. We'll be replacing our secondary except for John. John will be returning in the secondary force, and we'll be replacing all of our linebackers except for Duane. So we've got our hands full. It's going to be a Friday night deal. I'll let you know after the first couple of Fridays where we are defensively, but we're excited about some guys that we have. We've got some very good athletes. Some guys that have worked extremely hard in the weight room and gotten themselves prepared for what lies ahead. So in the kicking game, Zach Wacholtz, we have known no other kicker at Archer in our history except for Wacholtz, and he's heading to the Air Force Academy. So we got a lot of work to do in our kicking game. Michael Fry is our guy right now that we feel like is going to be the guy that we lean on. He's got a very strong leg. He doesn't have that experience under the lights like Zach did. So we've got a lot of work to do in our kicking game. We feel like he's got the talent. We feel like he's got the leg strength. But that's a big deal in our region. If you have a bad kicking game, you're not going to win. And so that's something that we'll be working on big time once we put our pads on. Before I hand it over, we'll tell you a little bit about KJ. KJ is a senior for us. Tremendous leader. In my 16 years of coaching high school football, he's one of the absolute smartest football players I've been around. His football IQ is very high. Picks up things the first time. Never seen him struggle with a concept or anything. He gets it. He gets it. And for a coach, that's awesome, because now we got a coach on the field. KJ will be at some wide receiver. He'll be in the backfield. He'll be a quarterback. May flip over and play some corner. Just depends on how some things play out, and may end up in our return game and our kicking game some as well. I've told these guys early on we're going to have a lot of skilled guys going to have to play both ways this year, and so these guys know what kind of shape they've got to get in to do that. KJ started for us at quarterback last year. We slid him out to wide receiver, as well as platooning back in at quarterback a little bit during the season. He had a great year. Unselfish player, tremendous athlete, very quick, and we look forward to great things from him this year. But I'll let him talk real quick.
I'm KJ Palmer, play quarterback, wide receiver, running back for Archer. Like Coach Dodge said, we graduated a bunch of seniors last year, so we're going to be counting on like a bunch of the underclassmen to step up and rise to the occasion and help us win ball games this year, like such as Dylan Singleton, Kyle Davis, and like a bunch of other juniors who have like less experience. And I mean, in Region A, it's a tough region to be in, but I think like we've been putting in the work that we need to this summer, and we're going to continue to put in the work that we need to be good this year. That's it.
Thank you, KJ. John Gillis, he'll be a third-year starter this year. He started for us as a sophomore safety, and again last year. He also helps us in our return game on special teams. John's a great leader. He's a great student. All three of these guys are great students. Their GPAs are up there, which is a good thing. It's going to be a great help for these guys when it's time to get into school. It's going to open up a lot of doors for them. And John falls in that category. Tremendous young man. Character is above reproach, and he's a great football player. And I've been on John. I was on John early hard this summer. I was in his grill pretty good, just getting him to understand what kind of leadership I do expect from him. And I know I'm going to get that. He always rises to the occasion. John Gillis.
Hi, I'm John Gillis. Play safety and corner to help out like the whole Archer for us to win and everything. But it's not hard. It's not easy to win games and get to the playoffs. Like the coaches, they have embedded in our minds that you got to do the little things to get where you want to go and get our goals. And so basically this whole summer, we've been teaching the little things and hard work and never quit. And we just need the leaders to step up, like all the seniors to step up and teach all of our juniors that don't have any much experience to step up and help out the team, because that's what we need to get to the playoffs and where we want to be.
Thank you, John. Duane Lee is a returning linebacker for us. Major production. I don't have his numbers off the top of my head of his tackle totals and that kind of stuff, but a lot of production out of Duane last year, and he's got a hot motor. He's an emotional player. He brings that to the field each Friday night, and we're counting on Duane to have a great year. We also may end up moving him at fullback as the season goes, and we get in some of our two tight end sets. In our region, you've got to be able to run the football, and there comes a time where you've got to play with a tight end or two tight ends and get in there and try to hit somebody in the mouth. And Duane's one of those guys that we're going to bring over on offense to do that. Duane Lee.
Thanks, Coach. Coach said that I might have had a good season last year, but that doesn't matter compared to this season. This season is what matters more than anything. It's our senior season, and plus, we got to get better and make it to the playoffs. The coaches are always on us every day. We need to get better. We need to come together as a senior group and lead this team to a state playoffs and a state championship. The only way to do that is with grinding every day in the weight room, working hard, and coming together and being leaders. Thanks.
Thank you, Duane. Any questions? Open them up.
you're still a relatively young program. What is it, the fourth year of varsity player, fifth year?
Yeah, we're starting our fifth.
So you've had some senior classes before, but probably not as large as the one you lost. How big of a challenge is it really for the first time to be having to replace all those starters and just kind of, I guess, rebuild your roster for lack of a better term?
Well, we played a lot of those guys that graduated last year early, and we felt like we had to put them in the fire early as a football program, and you start to build some traditions, and you start to build some attitudes within your football program, and we hope this year will be a telltale sign to see if we've done that. As a coaching staff and as players, the players have a huge responsibility in this as well. We're a small school compared to a lot of the other schools in the county. We're one of the ones at the bottom numbers wise, so we're not going to have large senior classes, every year. And when it gets down to it, we want 15 or 20 that know what it's about and know how to grind and know how to put the work in. So we're dependent on these guys. I'm not worried about that in the least. Like they said, a couple of them mentioned, we've got some juniors with a lot of experience underneath them that are very good football players and good boys. So it's whether it's a dirty dozen or it's 35, we're going to strap it on and see what happens.